Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully, we've got all the technology hooked back up. This is our first live stream since way back in March. I believe maybe March 25th might have been the last one. We flipped the class for West Bend Mutual Associates from an in-person class to a virtual class. So that will happen on Tuesdays, and we'll kick it off. We'll get the meeting started over Zoom for the West Bend Mutual folks. They'll kick off the meeting a little after 11 so people can get set up. Put on some music if you'd like. We'll do this one without music here, just to avoid all the crazy copyright stuff. And we will kick off the sessions weekly at 11:15. These are a little shorter than the sessions I do at the branches. These are just 30-minute sessions, so a little bit of an abbreviated version of whatever set we're doing for that week at the Kettle Moraine branches. So, put your feet about shoulder width apart. Knees nice, soft, and bouncy. Just relax. Arms hanging loosely to the side. Let's begin with a couple of breaths. Breathing in. And breathe out. Let's do one more of those. And when your hands reach the bottom, just let your eyes go closed. And let's find the edges of our feet. Just kind of shifting your weight a little bit from side to side, maybe a little front and back. Maybe circling around a bit. Let's get ourselves centered, grounded, balanced, and present. And begin to notice the breath. Breathing in through the nose if you're able. Taking that breath down deep into the belly. And you can take the out breath through either the mouth or the nose. And just feel yourself settling in for the moment. Keep the format roughly the same as we do for the branch classes. Do a little opening, sometimes a warm-up, sometimes we'll open right with the breath work. And connect the movement to breath. And then some sort of traditional set. This week our featured set is a 5-element practice with a look toward winter, which today here in southeast Wisconsin is giving us a rather vivid illustration. It's snowing outside. So the element practice today will bookend with a few water movements on either end, and then we'll cycle through the other seasons. Let your eyes come back to the room. On the next breath in, let your arms rise. Draw the hands back toward the body as the hands just melt down. Breathing in as we rise. Breathing out as the arms melt down. Just letting the body follow the breath. Gear everything off the breath. If you're watching the recording of this on YouTube later and you'd like to join us live, this will be weekly on Tuesdays, 11:15 U.S. Central Time. West Bend Mutual Associates are welcome to join us on Zoom. You've been provided that link. And anybody else is welcome to catch the live stream. If that doesn't work in your schedule, we'll get a nice high quality recording and we'll leave that out there on YouTube. Unfortunately, the recordings on Zoom are not quite the quality that we can do with other methods. One more time here. Next time as the hands come up, let's open up the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. On the breath out, Bring that back in, give the tree a little hug, and then melt down. Longer breath in, and a longer full breath out. Let's change it up a little bit. Come on back up, open up. This time, let your arms spiral in as if catching a large ball. And just a gentle sink down as you catch the ball. Breathing in, open up nice and wide. Breathing out. Come on back in and capture the moon. And as the moon is in its waning phase right now, let's start to make our moon just a little smaller. So each time you bring the arms back in, shrink it down a little. Let's take one more and pause. We're going to let the bottom hand float out. As it begins to come back, turn the front hand palm up and let palm pass palm. Breathe in, toss away. Breathe out, press forward. If you've done a little Tai Chi before, you'll recognize some of the movement patterns. This one's based off fending off the monkey. We're not going to move about the room like we would if we were performing it in a Tai Chi sequence. Breathing in as we toss that hand out. Breathing out as we press it forward. Just letting body follow breath. Let's take one more on each side. And then let that extended arm fall. As it passes the leg, turn that foot out, and with the other hand, push. Let's put both hands in motion. Push hand is going to draw a big circle in front of you. And then push. While the other hand just circles, brushing past the forward leg. Don't focus too much on the specific hand movements or foot movements. What we want to do is harmonize movement with breath. Breathing in as we rock it back, spiral the hands, breathing out as we push. Now let's get ready to take that to the other side. So we'll do two more on this side. There's one. There's two. Keep the hands moving. Turn the foot in, turn the other foot out, and push on the other side. Hands just change places. Take two more on this side. We'll finish it up in the middle. Here's one. Here's two. Again, hands stay in motion. Turn the foot in. Finish in the middle, capturing a ball. Now, bottom hand and the corresponding leg are going to go out on a diagonal. So step out and toss that bottom hand out like you're throwing a frisbee. Breathe in and breathe out. This one's patterned off from a form called Parting the Horse's Mane. You can think of the toss-away hand running up the underside of the horse's neck, while the back hand just pats the horse. Again, don't worry overly about whether your hands are doing what my hands are doing. Just keep the movements coordinated with the breath. Let the breath lead. Breathe in or rack it back. Breathe out. Toss that hand away. Let's take 2 more on this side. Here's 1. And 2, take a little pause, turn the back hand, palm up, step back in, and then recapture the ball with the other hand on the bottom. So we can go to the other side, step out, and toss the bottom hand away. If you joined me before, back in the days when we were during the thick of the pandemic, when we were streaming sessions every day, you notice a little bit of a location change. I became a grandpa in January, so to facilitate me spending a lot of time with my grandson, I moved the office and studio to the main floor. Let's take 2 more on this side. And then a little pause. Turn the back hand, palm up. Step in, capture the ball. Take a peek at your top fingers. Whichever direction they're pointing, let's carry the ball over to that side. And then turn both thumbs toward the ceiling, or the sky if you're outside, and drag them across the front. When they get to the other side, the hands just change places and come on back. So make your top hand, back of hand floating across, bottom hand, the palm floating across. Top hand, keep it roughly heart level. Bottom hand, kind of even with the lower belly, lower dantian, our energy center. This is one of a few different variations of hands pushing clouds. Let your body weight just shift side to side. Just let it flow. Breathing in as your hands come across in one direction. Breathing out as they come on back. This will be the last form in this little mini set that we do to connect movement to breath. And then we'll jump into our elements practice. Beginning with water, and then we'll do a few forms for water, and then we'll cycle through a form each for wood, fire, earth, and metal, and we'll bookend with a few more water forms before a little closing sequence. We're using a simplified closing this week. Often do some posture work, some Zhanzhuang static postures, usually in the Xinyi Quan tradition. Today we'll do a single posture called Embrace Tree. And we'll close first with hands over heart, and then bring everything to the center by letting our hands slide down to the lower dantian. Let's come across 2 more times here. And when you get to the other side, let your palms face each other, recapture the ball, carry it back to the center. Let's spin it part way, flatten the palms, and let them float down. Begin our water set. Turn a foot out, extend the arms, palms toward the floor. Draw a big circle in front of you. Turn the foot back in, the other foot turns out. All the way into the body. Breath in, across in one direction. Breath out, going the other way. Water element corresponds to the kidney and bladder meridians. And of course, seasonally, winter. Like last week's practices, which focused on the metal element, the lungs, large intestine, those meridians run only through the upper body. The meridians we're working on this week run the full length of the body. All right, one more time across the other direction. Coming back to the middle and just releasing down. Let your hands come together at the bottom. Draw the hands up the body. Bring them into prayer position and then overhead. As you go overhead, raise your heels if you can. And lower the heels as you bring the hands back about eye level. And then hands go one way, hips go the other. So we swim the dragon. Breathe into the center. Breathe out on the push. Let's go once more to each side. Finishing up in the center, and then breathing in, coming back overhead, raising the heels if you can. And then as you come back down on the out breath, release everything back to the bottom. One more form for water. Let the hands come up, palms facing up, to about shoulder height. Stand here, take a breath in. And then on the breath out, begin to turn just the upper torso. Breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out, turning. The hawk gazes over his shoulder. So not unlike a move we do in the 8 brocades called The Wise Owl Looks Behind. Bring it back to center, and then release down. Moving on to the wood element. Let's take one hand out forward, palm down. The other hand back just under the armpit, palm up. As you breathe in, let the hands change places, both hands spiral. As you breathe out, again, hands change places. One's pushing, one's pulling. Wood element associated with the season of spring, liver and gallbladder meridians, spring a long way off for us here in the northern hemisphere at this point. One more change, and then let everything just float back down to the beginning. in a neutral position. We sometimes call this position Wuji. Next form, for fire, season of summer, the heart, the small intestine. Let's take one hand behind our back, turn a foot out, and with the back hand, just lift. Pick up the breath. Breathe in, turn the foot back in. Hands change places. Breathe out, turn the foot out, lift the ball. Let's take one more, going to each side. And coming back to center, returning to Wuji. So let the arms float up on the sides and then spiral in to catch a ball right in front of the belly. Both palms are going to turn over. One's going high, one's going low. Spiral the arms, the other hand float to the top of the ball, kind of sink down as you get to the middle, and then split the palms apart, bridging earth and sky. Let's pick up the breath, breathing in, breathing out. And let's add a little heel lift on the next one. Breathing in, and then as you stretch it out, raise the heels. As the hands transition, lower the heels, sink down. As we move on to the earth element. We say the elements correspond to seasons. 5 elements because we have an extra season. For late summer, what we might commonly, at least here in the Midwest, call Indian summer. And this form for the stomach and spleen meridians. Let's take one more. Spiral in, catch the ball one more time. Spin it part way. Flatten the palms and let them float down. Moving on to metal. Spinal cord breathing. Breathing in. Spread the elbows apart. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you breathe out, fold all that back in. Gently round the back. Breathing in as we rise and expand. Breathing out, relax and release. Let's take one more. And at the bottom, extend your arms. And then slowly roll back up to vertical. Stepping out diagonally as we return to the water element. Pushing a wave. Breathing in, withdraw the hands. Breathing out, push the wave. Do one more push. And we'll change this one up just a bit. As the hands come back out, press the fingertips together and then spread open your wings. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, come back forward, let your fingertips touch. One more time. Draw everything back into the body, step back in. Let's do the other side. Step out diagonally, push the wave. One more push. And then as the hands come back out, press the fingertips together and then spread open those wings. One more time. Let's draw everything back into the center, melting back down. Step out a little bit wider than hips. Let the arms come in, fingers come toward each other. You're holding a big ball or hugging a tree. In this static form called embrace tree, put just a little bit of tension in your upper legs, so sink down just a little bit, tuck your tailbone. Upper torso is erect, chin tucked back, gaze forward. Either a soft gaze, or you can even close your eyes. And we'll stay here for 8 to 10 breaths. Just breathe deeply as we embrace the tree. Sometimes called embracing the one. If you're local to me and interested in practicing in person, I'm at the YMCA, the Kettle Moraine YMCA now. Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Fife Family Branch in Saukville. Tuesday 9 a.m., Thursday 1 p.m. And those are bookended by a Monday session in West Bend at the West Washington Branch at 9:15 down in the lower studio. And a Friday session in the Spirit, Mind, Body studio at the River Shores Branch in West Bend, Fridays at 9:15. Those are a little bit longer classes. Let your eyes come back open now. Begin to fold the hands in, hand over hand, the hands over the heart. Bring the feet back in, this time a little narrower than hips. Close your eyes and just breathe. And then keeping your eyes closed, just let the hands slide from the heart center down to the lower belly, hand over the lower dantian. Let's bring everything back to the center to finish out today. Just breathe deeply. You might feel yourself start to sway a little bit. If you do, just relax into that. Just sway like a branch in the breeze. And let's take one more deep breath in. As you release that breath, release the hands back to your sides. Open your eyes. Give everything a little shake. And thanks for coming to see me today. Namaste.